Pippa. Pippa has joined us from Burnham-on-Sea today, where she has her practice called Holistic Hands. She's going to be offering taster treatments outside all day today, which I hope that you'll all enjoy. She's very good. She's going to be talking to you about the crystals of the sacred feminine, three different aspects of that. I'm sure she'll introduce that for herself as she goes along. I just want to welcome you all again for coming. And I hope you enjoy what Pippa has to offer for you when you see it. All right.
Thank you very much. Morning all. Morning. Okay, so how did this all come about? Last year, probably within the last 12 months, different aspects of the feminine keep coming into my life, and it started off with the goddess Isis. For those who know of Egypt, ancient Egypt, she's very much a well-known goddess. And she kept popping into my life last year, and throughout that journey, she's led me from one post to another, and together with her messages and introduction to the sound, I wanted to give a talk about the sacred feminine today. Now, the aspect of the feminine over the years has meant different things to different countries. When you look back over the ages, examples would be the Queen Yan in China, Freya in Scandinavia, Aphrodite and Venus in Greece, and Shakti in India. And of course, ancient Egypt would be Isis and Hathor. So we all have heard stories, we've all seen beautiful pieces of art, we've often got to this moment in time with our own understanding of what sacred feminine is, and applying that to the crystal world throughout this journey over the last 12 months. Certain crystals have come to me in relation to three aspects of the feminine. Are you confused? Good. And so what I would like to discuss with you this morning is the three aspects that have homed into myself. The first of that is Mahina moon. Now, Mahina is a Hawaiian word that means light, so this is the light of the moon. And the moon aspect, as a lot of us know, ties in with our sacral chakra. And this is the seat of our emotions, and it is also the seat of our creativity. And I'm using our as a general term. Of course, there's men in the audience. I'm just talking it from a oneness point of view. So this seat of creativity, it's quite beautiful when we go back to the very ancient times. This essence of the femininity that you can't quite put into a box or give it a definitive answer. It's an essence that is within the female aspect. And what they would do way back when is to ask the ladies of the village to bless the land. And what they would do is the figure of 8 with their hips over the land. And by doing that, they were blessing the land and encouraging good crops, and that essence from the women of the village would be shared with the land and the intention. So do you fancy wiggling your hips for me? No? And just a way to see, how's my creativity today, could be, is to practice your figure of 8 with your hips and just see, is it flowing, is it moving quite easily? And if not, does it work in reverse? You don't have to do it in public, but you know, it could be another way of you tapping into this very important chakra and essence or energy centre. So that's the Mahina moon. Of the 4 crystals that really resonate to myself, and I've created sets to depict this, I'll be talking about the Cooperite stone, and that would be one of the stones that you would place on one of the chakras. So there'd be a stone for the left hand side of the sacral chakra, one for the right hand side. So you imagine where your ovaries are, one would go here, one would go here. The third stone would go at the root chakra, and then the final stone would be on the ground, and with your intention, it would be linking in with your earth star chakra. So that's the Mahina moon set. Let's stay with that before we move up. So I've got 2 examples of what the Cooperite stone is. If you'd like to hold it, look at it, and then pass it along. It's described as it's a copper oxide, and in terms of its hardness, it's 3 to 4. So it's quite a soft stone, and the actual Cooperite is the deep ruby aspect. The bits that are sparkling is the actual Cooperite. If I start at the back, there's a bit of information about Mahina moon. Start randomly if you want to have a read and then pass it along. So with there being a copper aspect within the Cooperite stone, copper basically is a conductor, so it's already giving movement, and so Cooperite over the years has proved to have a link with the divine feminine, and I believe that is because of its element of movement. It's got a directional flow, and if you particularly hold it in your left hand, you'll sense the energy that these crystals impart. Because of the strong energy that this particular stone has, it's linked in with the Kundalini, which is the activation of all the chakras. So, as well as placing it on the chakras linked in with the set, when you've got your firm connection with the crystal, you might want to place it on the base of your spine and sense the energies that way. And so, with Mahina moon, the whole set is about releasing. You know, we're at this age where we're letting go. We're getting closer to being more in the moment. We're letting go of the past. The past is not serving us anymore. And so the Mahina moon set facilitates that movement. With the other 3 crystals, it allows you to take the inner journey. It might be for journeying aspects or shamanic aspects. It may also be creating. You know, the moon aspect is very much about being fertile and the cycles. And just like the moon, within the woman's body, the egg is released. It could be fertilized. It grows. It ripens. And then it dies away again, and it's so special that happens, within a 28-day cycle. And for those who are in their crone aspect, i.e. the menopause, they can still tap into that energy. more so in the dark side of the moon rather than the full aspect.
Did you say crone aspect?
Crone, yes. Crone as in the ladies who are at that stage of their life.
Yeah.
So sorry, crone is a goddess terminology for ladies who have possibly had children and have moved on to their wise aspect of their life. Not looking at anybody in particular. So yes, the Mahina moon. It's all about movement, releasing, and having that connection with the earth, because that's so important now. You know, as we ourselves are becoming lighter in our bodies, as the energy flow is becoming more easy to recognise, and as we are, as a race, becoming more in tune with the energies of the earth, you know, we need that two-way flow. And so the stone that's used at the Earth Star is what I would depict as a magic stone. And the Cooperite will give that directional flow down to the magic stone to create that two-way flow with Mother Earth. Anybody pick up any energies from the Cooperite? Yes, good. Is it working its way to the back? Does anybody have any questions on Cooperite?
Where is it found?
Good question. America. These stocks have come from America. Which state? I think it's Michigan.
Oh, right, okay, that's fine.
That part of America.
Does it come in a tumbled as well?
I've yet to see it in a tumbled form. I believe it would be very, very expensive if it was tumbled.
Because it's the silver bits, isn't it? So that would be really hard.
It's a deep red aspect that you see on the stone. That's the Cooperite. What it grows on is the copper elements of the stone. But yes, I haven't seen it yet in a polished form. So once we've got our creative juices going, and once we've got our connection with Mother Earth, we then move up to the heart aspect, which is the beloved Venus aspect. And here, if I start that way, so we're all working with our heart chakras at the moment. It never stops. The stone that I'm handed out into the audience is kunzite. And kunzite again is one of the 4 crystals that I have found that works very well with not necessarily connecting, it's being at that point where the openness to all. I mean that's what the essence of love is all about. Is having this. Do you ever get? Oh, I'm sure you do. Those moments where you see a sunset and you stop. You stop dead in your tracks and you share that moment with nature, or you meet a stranger and something happens and it just really touches you inside. That, of course, is working with your heart chakra, and it's that essence that beloved Venus is all about. It's loving yourself. It's having compassion. It's having that going through the forgiveness for others. And again, it's almost like clearing the slate of what's gone on in the past. And kunzite is the gateway stone that taps into the universal love, more than a human being love, humankind love. So it's all about warmth, emotional healing. And when you have those moments with nature or that touches you inside, there's a knowing. It's a knowing that you feel as opposed to knowing that comes from up here. And as we step in to this more of a oneness, it's this pink ray of the beloved Venus that will hold your hand. It will give you the comfort and friendship and the right warmth of the motherly love that helps you to move forward away from fear and step into that higher vibration of love. Does that make sense? Okay. So yes, the kunzite is part of the hibonite range of crystals. The pink ray is the lithium aspect of the stone, and to look at it, it's almost transparent, but it's it's very I've often popped it under my pillow for dream time. There's a real gentleness and a real softness about the beloved Venus crystals. Okay.
Lithium is also used for depression.
So yeah, again, it feels good.
Yes. Very gentle.
So in a nutshell, beloved Venus, the love that you might have for your family member, the love that you might have for your nearest and dearest, if that can be applied to the animals, the plants, is it too warm?
Yeah, we'll just get out. Fine, we'll just stand here.
We'll get those switched off. You want to take some layers off, ladies? Put your hair up. So yeah, if the love that you have for your nearest and dearest, if that can be applied moment to moment in every waking moment, then you've cracked it. And it's that these crystals can help with in manifesting these moments to happen more often. Okay. So we're now on to the third aspect, which I guess was the original part, and that's the Inanna Isis. And Isis, for a lot of you know, will taps into the third eye, so the inner knowing, the wisdom, the psychic abilities, and you know, over the years that has been suppressed by the over-masculine aspect that has happened, churches and so forth. And so, just like Isis, who was able to piece together her husband Osiris bit by bit with her magic, you also have that ability within yourselves. It's there, you were born with it, it's in your DNA. And these four crystals will help to tap into that, to draw that aspect out of yourselves, and then connect in with your higher self and those that are above. So, for this particular stone, I thought it would be good to discuss the lapis lazuli, which you often see which you can still see on some of the artwork in ancient Egypt. The ladies would somehow this would be created into a powder and they would apply it as eyeshadow if they were well-to-do back in those days. And so with lapis, it has aspects of pyrite in it, which is a gold flex, and it also has calcite, which is what represents the white that you see in the lapis. I think this was one of the first stones I had in my collection way back when, and it was because it connects you to the stars, it connects you upwards, and star time is one of my favourite times of the day, and so it creates a gateway for you to travel. That again, that self-communication with yourself, development with the mind. If I put this at the back, we'll start at the front. Yeah, so with Isis and with the Isis set, there's completeness. So two of the crystals would go on the third eye, touching. The third crystal would be placed on the Soma chakra, and the fourth crystal would be placed either on the crown or just above on the Soul Star chakra. And this is the energy centres that taps in to the completeness of the Divine Feminine and allows you to take both inner and upward journeys. And those aspects of serenity, peace, communication can also come about. So, I do want you to stand up. I saw Donna Eden last weekend, and she, thank you, very inspirational lady. For those who don't know her, she's all about energy medicine. Comes from America, very vibrant, happy lady, just incredible. If you can think about Tigger in Winnie the Pooh, that's Donna Eden. You know, every aspect of her bounces. It's lovely. And what I would like to just share with you is something that you can do at home, and it taps into radiant circuits. And this is an extension of ourselves, and it's another level from the meridian lines that are within our body. And this is called the 9 Hearts, and this is something you can incorporate in your morning practice, and it could be something that you do on one another. And so all it is with both your hands, from your belly button, on the in-breath you bring it up, and you do a heart shape over your heart, literally, and you do that 3 times. That's right, on the in-breath up. And this is tapping in. Thank you, who's doing the breathing? And so whilst we're lifting our hands here, we are contacting our central meridian line. And then on our 4th lifting up, we bring it up past over our heads. And again, do the heart shape and let your hands drop down. And then again, bring your hands both up, past your head. You might feel like a ballerina right now. And again, for the 3rd time, deep breath in. And just by this motion here, you are extending your aura. So we've done 2 sets of 3. So again, we come up our central meridian line, over our heads, and then this time as a heart shape, we come down to our feet. If you can, bend your knees if you want to. And again, lift up your legs, up your central line, up over your heads, and then back down towards your feet. Bend your knees if you need to. silver things. Do that. And then last time. Thank you. And the radiant circuits is, what is it? It's the feel-good factor. So do you feel any different to before we started?
Especially if you breathe properly, because then it clears out all these negative energies that are inside.
So that's a little energy exchange from me to you. If you would like to know more about the Sacred Feminine, I'm offering taster sessions throughout the day. So if you're drawn to the Mahina aspect, or if you're drawn towards the heart aspect, there's also tuning forks that link in with. So when I hear the moon, can you hear that? Okay. So the sound frequencies also will impart the energy of the crystals and the sound frequencies themselves as well. I'm running various workshops in Devon and Somerset later this year, so if you're interested in finding out more, come and seek me out. But yeah, basically do your figure of 8 with your hips. And I just want to read something out which touched me and what I feel brings the whole essence of the Sacred Feminine together. So, the lost importance of the instinctual, fertile, wise and creative feminine. For hundreds of years, the goddess has been cast out, and women, with their connection to the realms of nature and their intuition, have been regarded as inferior. Today, women are equal, and yet many have not reclaimed that wild, primitive and fecund power. All women have mesoline within. The mesoline is a water goddess. And so the connection with the watery depths and the constant rhythm of the sea. Women's reproductive cycles correspond to the moon, which also pulls the tides. This can teach us how to recover our lost powers of healing, wisdom, sensuality and freedom. And for men who truly honour her and respect her wishes and desires, she promises joy and fulfilment. So yes, it's all about re-remembering. It's there. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's there within you. And the crystals that I've shared with you today are different ways that connection can be re-remembered or resurrected. Alright, any questions?
Yeah. What are the frequencies of the tuning forks?
Oh, you got me there. I'd have to find out for you.
Okay.
The Venus is 221.23.
Yeah.
But I could find out the others for you. Yes, Rob?
So got the figure of 8?
Yes.
Your tarot, the magician's got the figure of 8 for a while. And would that be kind of relevant? Or is it just the masculine and feminine? Or is
No. The figure of 8, again, is a very ancient symbol. I've given you an example of how the ladies used their essence on the crops. But it also can represent the higher aspect and the lower aspect meeting together. With the energy medicine from last weekend, the figure of 8, which you can do on yourself or on somebody else, taps into the radiant circuit. So by doing that in the room or around in your auric field, that will also change the energy and the frequency. It's a very ancient symbol, which I feel is now once you think about it, you know, you see it in lots of places.
During my healing sessions, I'm often drawn to do it as a blessing almost at the end of the session. So I don't know where that comes from.
No,
Something
that's the ancient aspect coming through, and it's also the part of the DNA, the helix. It's that motion as well. So if you ever feel down or you want to change the vibe, do the figure of eights and see and feel the difference. Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Is it also something to do with like everlasting? Yeah, everything goes round and round and round and round.
It's also seen as the infinity sign.
Infinity.
Yeah, so it never finishes and it never ends. Okay, well, I wish you a wonderful day with crystals, and come and seek me out if you've got any questions, and I hope that gives you a good introduction to the sacred feminine. Thank you.